Hi, you guys. This is Mary Honeybee Morrison, New York Times bestselling author. Now, a lot of you hung out with me before and you did the Write a Book in 90 Days challenge, right? All of you guys didn't finish, but some of you guys did. So, as promised, for the author circle, you could probably catch this on YouTube too. I'm not going to be selfish about it. But for the author circle, for those of you who have actually finished your novel, right? Now what? You got a book and you don't have any money. You got to figure out how to publish it, right? And that's where this expert comes in, right? This guy right here is Jesse Byrd. And most of y'all know that's my son, right? I'm not going to front. That's my son. But no, I didn't finance his book. No, I did not give him any money. I'm just like the rest of those parents, right? Go out and figure it out on your own. But seriously, what Jesse is going to do, he's going to break it down to you in parts in terms of how he financed his book in order to get it published. Now, I know you went through a lot to actually get this done, and you had to figure out a way, right? So you had your trials and errors in terms of getting it published. What was the most important component that you had to think of when you said, I need money to get this book done? What did you do next?
So the first step I did was to really research what crowdfunding was all about. I really like the concept and the idea. It's basically a way where you can ask all of your friends and family to pitch in just a little bit to a large pot to help make your dream come true. And the real key that I found out about crowdfunding is that the majority of your support is going to come from people you already know. Now that may sound self-evident, but I think when I went into it the first time, I was looking at it more like a selling platform that some would
Okay.
come from my people, but some would come from other places. And what I'm learning through all the research I've done, through all the reading I've done, is that everything the expert says that most of your crowdfunding support is going to come from your Facebook friends, your Instagram friends, your Twitter friends, your real life friends. You have to drive people who know you personally to the site.
Okay, so when you're doing crowdfunding, where do you look? Where do you go? How do you actually find these websites? And once you get to the website, what is going to be required of you? It's like if I have to ask my mother, cousin, sister, brother, friend for the money. They may or may not give it to you,
Yeah.
but that's where you have to start. So with the crowdfunding, what sites did you go to and how do you set all of that up? Because just act like my readers know nothing on how to get that done.
So the first site I went to was Kickstarter.com, which is an excellent platform. And the second site I went to was Indiegogo. Now let me explain the difference between the two. The way Kickstarter works is that it's an all or nothing platform, which is exciting in a sense because then people are motivated to give above and beyond because either you meet all of your goal or you meet none of it. So for example, I set out to do 7,000 my first round. If I didn't meet exactly 7,000 or more, if it could have been 6,999, but if I didn't meet it in my time frame, which is 30 or 60 days, you get to choose, you get none of the funds. As to where Indiegogo, you get to keep everything you raise, but you still set a platform goal in terms of what you need to get this project accomplished. So some would say, well, why even go with the riskier move? But really, it's the reason why Kickstarter is so successful is because it's a social platform
Okay.
that pretty much uses, I don't want to say fear, but it motivates people to try to help you reach that goal because they know that it's all or nothing. Everything's on the line with that. So you really have to look at the differences between the platforms, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, GoFundMe are three of the biggest ones. And you really have to look at which ones benefit your project the most and what kind of risk that you want to take.
So let's just say you raised $6,999 to get your book done. Your goal was $7,000. What happens to the money?
So the money goes right back to the people who donated it. Actually, it's never taken out of their account in Kickstarter because it's waiting until you complete your campaign, until your 30 days are up, and then it decides did you meet it, did you not meet it, and then that's when it takes the funds out of their account. So most people are doing what they call a pledge, which means I pledge to give this money on Kickstarter if you reach your goal. And if that goal isn't met, then none of their information is ever captured or kept or anything like that past that point, and the money just stays in their account, so you don't get anything.
Okay, now what I thought was brilliant too about your campaign, right, is that for people who donated, they weren't just donating, they were getting a product.
Absolutely.
And so, what products did you offer and you had various packages and all that people could buy for certain amounts. I'm just gonna put it out there. Our people want to know they get stuff for their money. Now they like to support you and all, and that might be good. But it's nice to have packages, and you had great packages with your campaign.
Yeah, it was really trial and error. I really looked at other people's campaigns, ones that were successful on the platform that I wanted to market on. So either Kickstarter and Indiegogo. I read a few articles, looked at a few books, and basically they all say the same thing. So I'll just sum it up for you really, really tight. Is that your packages need to be very concise, particular, and don't make too many options. So you can have 20 different payment options. But what's most successful on these crowdfunding platforms is take five at the most, and say, okay, you get a book. That's the first one for $20. For $40, you get a book, and for me, it was a book and a T-shirt. For $60, you get a book and a sweatshirt, like a hoodie. And basically give people really clean numbers, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, whatever, price point you want to do. But just make sure it's simple, because when people feel overwhelmed by choices, it becomes cumbersome, and you don't want to make this hard for them. You want to make it as easy as possible for them to help you reach your dream.
So, saying the word dream, really, people need to learn how to dream big, right? You got to dream big, and you got to believe in yourself, and you have to have faith when you're doing this, because it's not an easy task to accomplish in terms of financing your own book. Now, I'm just going to chime in for 2 seconds, because when I started eons ago, right, with Soulmates Dissipate, I financed my book. I needed $3,000, right? So I just asked six family members, do the math. I did 6 family members, $500 each. I even asked the ex-boyfriend, honey, I need $500. They all gave me $500. I didn't have to ask a 7th person, right? So people are going to believe in you if you believe in yourself. You have to know your friends. You have to know their capabilities. Nobody had $3,000 that they were just going to give me and write a check and go, here, I hope you're successful. No, it was a loan, and I paid everybody back within 30 days because thanks to you guys, Soulmates Dissipate did exceptionally well. Now, I'm proud of my son because he lives in this whole entrepreneurial era, which is a little different. Now, he has a side product. You probably, if you were listening closely, he said T-shirts, he said sweatshirts, right? This is one of his designs he's got on right now, right? He helped me do this one, right? I can't do all this stuff by myself. Anyway, it's like, as an author, you have to have multiple skills, and you have to look at your book as a business, right? So how did you come up with a T-shirt design to actually go with the book?
So the T-shirts for the book, and here's the whole idea, is that for every chapter you're going to take a visual, and you're going to turn that visual into something tangible for the customer. And so for each chapter, we decided to take one passage and turn it into an illustration. So when we're done, the entire book is going to be illustrated kind of in pictures, kind of the same way you would see a movie in rolls of film, how each picture is different. And you'll be able to look at it, and it'll show a timeline, a progression, a storyboard, for those of you who are familiar with the storyboarding concept, of showing a story through pictures. So it'll be like a wearable storybook when you're done.
Now I have to touch on this too while we're talking. I know I don't have you for much longer. You got to run off and whisk off and get on the plane, right? Go cross country. But I do have a question in terms of when you're doing all of this, when you're writing your book. Tell us about what your book is about, who your audience is, because I think sometimes, if you don't know, my son is like 6'9". I say 6'9", he says 6'8". Hey. Anyway, so when you're writing your books, right, your audience, how do you choose your audience? Tell us a little bit about your story, and let us know, please, where to go out and buy it, because y'all better go buy my son's book. If you're in my office circle, honey, you better go to the website right away and buy this. I ain't playing with you. Book. So tell us about your book.
So the title is called Oiseau the Kingcatcher. I started this book 3 years ago, and basically the way I like to sum it up is that it's a story about the dangers of choice. We have a coming of age penguin who grew up in South America. So there's a civil war going on in his home, and he can't stay there anymore. So now he gets shipped off to South Africa to live with some family in sort of a utopian colony. And basically, while he's growing up there, he's coming across all sorts of dangers. Somebody wants to kill him. He's falling in love, which is another type of danger for those of you who's been in love. And he's going through just a lot of obstacles, ups and downs. And I don't want to give away too much of the story, but it's really, it was exciting for me to write. In terms of, it always surprised me what happened next, even though it seemed to be coming from me. It always surprised me what happened next. So it's really a great story. There's a lot of depth to it. You can read it. It's for 12 and up, so sixth grade and up is the targeted audience. But if you've ever seen the movie Shrek, that's kind of what I emulated the storyline after in terms of you can read it at one level, but there's content at multiple levels. There are jokes that, maybe over a 12-year-old's head, but very much appropriate for the audience.
Well, I absolutely love Oiseau the King Catcher. And of course, we have a copy of the book right here so you can see what it looks like, right? Great story. You already know it's about penguins, right? Oiseau the King Catcher. And it is pronounced
Oiseau.
Oiseau. Yeah. It is French. And what does that mean?
French, it's the French word for bird. So basically, it's the family's last name in the book. So.
Okay, I like that. And this book is so brilliant, right? Even though when you say 12 and up, 12 and up. I know some grown folks can't pronounce some of the words in this book, but I'm telling you, your kids will run circles around you with their vocabulary after reading this book. But it does teach a lot about social skills, communicating with people, why we do what we do. It'll make you think. I've been thinking a lot. Each page, I'm serious, each page will present something new and different, and each chapter really can be a lesson for your children. So you're also doing a lesson plan for students, correct?
Yes. I'm working with some local teachers out in Oakland to get a lesson plan done for schools. That way they can really maximize the potential of the book. I think what can be difficult for teachers is that you drop off a great product, but then they have to figure out how to communicate that product to the classroom. And what we want to do is give them aids and tools and a very concise package where you have the vocabulary words listed out. You have some themes and questions, some ideas just to get you thinking, and you can use what's there, or you can use that as a springboard to design your own lesson plan and your own lesson design. But the idea is to try to help you maximize what's in this book so that kids can really learn and really grow and really develop.
Well, I love everything that you just said. Tell us where we can buy the book, how we can find Oiseau the King Catcher online and purchase this book. Don't think I forgot. Well, Mary Hannah B. Morrison, you didn't tell us where to get the... Yes.
So there are two ways to get the book online right now.
Put it back up.
The first and the most preferred is to go directly through the site, which is oiseau.co. That's oiseau.co. The second is to go through amazon.com, which everybody is most likely familiar with. But the reason why I say go through the site is because we have different options and different packages, as well as more of the proceeds, as an author, as most of you know, will go back into funding the growth, development, success of this book. That way we can reach more and teach more and help more. So we have more power if we buy direct.
Yes, we do have more buying power when we buy direct, right? And in our community, we need to support our community, and our community is everyone who lives within the community, right? Blue, black, purple, green, yellow, that's our community that we support. So I'm going to thank you for joining me here. I know you have a plane to catch, you have to run off, but I'm going to call this my first segment, my first video, right, with my son on an interview of what I call off the pages. These are things that you're going to find out about the author that you could never find out even if you read the book cover to cover. So if you would like to be my next guest on Off the Pages, why don't you just go ahead and hit me up at Mary B. Morrison, Maryb, B as in boy, Morrison, Morrison.com, and let me know you want to be my guest, right? I'm here in the ATL. I do travel, but I'm here in the ATL. So if you're in Atlanta, or if you're going to be in Atlanta, make sure you send me an email. I'd love to get you on the show. Thank you, Jesse Byrd, for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, you guys, bye. Say bye.